What we do here is go back.
Yeah, good mate. Thanks for having me.
Who went the hardest in the celebrations?
Can't say myself, can I?
You sort of almost got to tell yourself that you're a big game player or a big finals player. And so somehow I thought, well, just because I play well as a 13-year-old, I have to play well in the grand final.
Me and Cogs are a couple of good WA boys, and we do get a bit affectionate with each other, always giving each other kisses and stuff. Nah, not really, just, a manly kiss on the cheek every now and then.
G'day guys, welcome back to the Bray and Ethan podcast, episode 92, powered by Skinbro for 2023. And of course, Hat Locker as well, with some handy products on display today, Ethan.
I'm loving this Richmond one. I wish I went for the Tigers now. It's quality.
It is, yes. Good new era hat.
Yeah, and not to discount the, I think it's Toronto, potentially.
No, I think it's Cleveland.
Can't see.
Cleveland. But of course, you can use code Bray and Ethan20 for 20% off across both websites. And I saw something on Skinbro's socials that it's free shipping if you use the 20% off code as well. I think. I saw it the other day.
I might need to double check that one, but if so, I mean,
it's massive.
Can't really complain. While you're looking at that, I thought it was
it's disappeared on me.
Worthy of saying. We're actually breaking somewhat of a mini drought, you could say, because I was checking the other day, as I said, and do you know who our last East Perth player was on?
I guess it was the boy.
It was the boy, Ruben Ginby. It's been a while.
That is a fair one.
Some would probably think we're like, I don't know, discounting East Perth or something, but this bloke, exciting key forward, off to the National Combine as well. Xavier Walsh, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You must be honoured to be the first Royals player on in 2023.
Very happy.
Bloody oath. Well, you're from the Mount Lawley Inglewood Junior Footy Club, the Mighty Roos. Give us and everyone tuning in a bit of an insight to your journey from the early days to where you are now.
So I would have started Mount Lawley in year 3. So I originally started at Coolbina in year 2, but hated it.
Requested the trade.
Requested the trade. Got over to the Roos in year 3 and started playing for them properly in year 4. And so played for them from year 4 to about year 10. And then it was all just PSA from that. But the Roos was a very good starting point.
And a basketball background as well, we believe. So, and you weren't always a forward. So how did you, switch from backline to forward?
I was always a defender at heart, especially playing at the Roos. And then playing in the PSA, I was kind of a victim of circumstance, just getting thrown in the ruck because of my height. But then last year, during 16s, one of our key forwards got injured in our first practice match, so I got chucked up forward and never looked back from there.
Yeah, natural.
Last year you played state 16s and futures for East Perth. How were those experiences, and would you consider yourself a bit of a late bloomer because the Colts debut didn't come till later on in the year?
I would. I'd say because PSA obviously takes a big priority when it comes to switching from Waffle and PSA. But we had in 2021 we had Darren Harris as our coach for the second half of the year. And he was a real big influence into talking East Perth and giving me that opportunity to go into futures as an overager, and then obviously playing through the futures campaign and getting selected for 16s was a big honour. Yeah. So you could consider it as a late bloomer, but either way, I'm happy to go through that to get where I am now.
And the state 16s experience, I believe that was over east somewhere last year.
We played 2 games in Adelaide and 1 game in Gold Coast, I believe.
Would have been good fun. The helmet made an appearance last year. Not this year though. Was that just a temporary thing?
Well, I've worn that exact same helmet since I was in year 5.
Okay.
So
still
it's
fits.
a bit of a sentimental attachment, and this year I tried to put it on, it didn't fit, so I was like, just go without it.
Yeah, you can only have the one. You can't replace it.
Can't replace it.
Well, it's fair to say you were probably a year too old because you finished up at Trinity last year and they're going pretty well this year, and you didn't have the biggest success in your years there in the PSA competition, but it must have still been a pretty proud place to be, and I guess everyone talks up playing PSA footy.
Yeah,
how was it?
It was a very good experience. It's funny how it changes because playing for 10As, we only lost 1 game, and then going for the next 2 years. Only winning one was a little bit of a switch in momentum, but it was a very big honour to play with the boys down at school. So I think some of the coaches have had like Scott Moore, and then obviously it would have been nice to come back this year and play under Chris Main, but it's good to see the boys succeed now, especially the ones that have been playing since year 10 and come up through the ranks. Seeing them gain success now has been really good.
Yeah, it would be good to be back involved in the coaching aspect as well. So you're not totally sort of out the door.
Nah, not yet. Not yet.
With all respect to the boys, East Perth probably didn't have the biggest of names in the state 18s this year. How important was it to mingle with guys from other Waffle clubs and I guess put the rivalries and the Colts on the back burner to form new connections?
No, it was really good. I feel like the first week's always a little bit just, breaking the ice, getting to know everyone. But after that first week, everyone kind of already knows who each other are before the team gets selected. So the walls break down pretty easy and everyone it's really good to just build that brotherhood really quickly in between the boys and in between the clubs. It's always a little bit of banter, but no, it's real good to connect with the boys from other clubs.
Anyone you took a liking to in particular from another Waffle club that, I don't know, you've grown closer with or, I don't know, maybe surprised you a bit off the field?
Well, I was real close with all the boys that I played 16s with last year, so the likes of Bo Allen, Tom Cathcart, those boys, and then also good mates with it's been real good with Curto and Colton and kids like that.
Yep.
For sure. Well, although you only played the one game in the Champs, how do you look back at that in terms of the setup and kicking a goal against the Allies in a game that you guys couldn't hit the scoreboard too often?
Yeah, that was a very tough game to play in. It was obviously a great opportunity to still play and play for WA and represent the state. But it was definitely a good learning experience. I feel like even going through the practice matches, obviously it was quite disheartening not to play in those last 3 games due to suspension. But I feel like just playing in that one game was enough just to build pride and confidence in representing the state.
Yeah. How'd you deal with not playing the final 3 games? It must have been hard to watch on, knowing, I guess, the Champs aren't the be-all and end-all, but in a way it's a really good opportunity to put your name forward.
I know it was pretty devastating, but it is what it is. And, you still go to training every week and just learn new things. And I feel like I tried to look at those 3 weeks off as kind of a catch-up on the pre-season I missed due to surgery last year. So I just tried to kind of flip it a little bit and look at it in a positive aspect. So I feel like that was more, that improved my mood throughout those 3 weeks. But it was still really good to still help and kind of not so much being a coaching role, but, still water run, still have an influence on how people are playing and help people out throughout those 3 weeks. So that was really good.
And another exciting and unique experience is choosing a manager. You're with some guys, you are with the guys at Hemisphere who manage some of the biggest names in the country. What's it like going through that process?
That's been very good. Tommy Seckle's been very good in kind of helping me throughout, especially when I found out I was suspended and helping me go through all that. So he's been a really good support. And then meeting some of the players like Liam Duggan, Ryan Marridge, they've been really good to talk to as well.
Yep.
Have they hooked you up with any sponsorships?
Not yet. I got a discount for a pair of Puma boots last week. I'm pretty happy with that. That was pretty good, but no sponsorships yet.
Well, the couple of the boys, as soon as they get managers, need a pair of boots.
Yeah.
And I think Colton's straight on a Puma.
Yeah.
There's a couple of others as well. Can't think off the top of my head.
I think Rui's gone in on one as well.
Yeah,
Puma,
Yeah.
We asked him about that.
Yeah, I was
Jacobs with Nike, and we were asking what the
family clash.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on the National Combine invite. Where were you when you found out, and describe, I guess, the emotions of, I guess, being seen as a top 60 player in the country with a handful of AFL clubs interested in you?
I was very surprised. I was just sitting at home, just chilling out, and saw the phone call from Jonesy, and I picked up the phone. I was a little bit timid, a little bit scared. I was like, "Oh, what's going on here?" And he's like it was pretty scary as well because he speaks in the same monotone voice every time, so you never know how he's feeling. He's like, "Oh, hey, Walsh, well done, congratulations." I was just in shock, really.
Yeah.
Bit of a surreal moment, but it's a really good opportunity. So I'm just trying to make the most of it and develop as much as I can to perform as well as I can.
Yeah, and it must be real surreal as well because you didn't play a Colts game until this year. So
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. And then I guess what are your goals for the combine?
It was very crazy, especially like, to be honest, at the start of the year, coming back only in round 4 from surgery, and I was surprised to even make the state 18 squad. So that's been a really good opportunity. And then obviously getting suspended for those 3 games and not being able to kind of showcase my skills was a really good surprise to see that people are still interested and still want to see me try and perform to the best I can. So I'm just trying to make the most of that now and do the best I can to perform as well as I can.
Yeah. What's the minimum club's interest? Is it still 6 for national combine?
Yeah, I think it's 5 or 6.
Yeah. From what we've heard, those chats can be pretty light-hearted, casual. What's been the indication or, I guess, feedback from them? Like, what is it that they rate about you most?
It has been pretty chill. It was a lot chiller than I expected. My first one, I was very scared going in, but they are very scared. I was very scared, but they just want to get to know who you are as a person. But the biggest feedback I've received from them is kind of just stringing together a consistency of games and playing at that high standard, and not so much to look at things I can improve on, but a big message, not just from clubs, but from coaches as well, has been not so much improving on aspects that you can improve, but making the most of the aspects that they look at your game. So like contested marking and kind of competitiveness has been a big one for me, and just showcasing that as much as I can.
Would you say being a left footer has helped, because you only have to look back a couple of years ago to another left-footed East Perth forward in Jai Amos, what he's been able to do? Would you say a left footer, I guess, separates yourself a little bit from your standard key forward?
Yeah, that is a good thing. Like, growing up watching Buddy in his prime, that was amazing. Then obviously you get like Jeremy Cameron now, the likes of those left footers, they've been really good growing up to watch. So I feel like that has been a little bit of a help, like to separate.
Yeah, left footers always seem to use it better as well.
Us left footers are pretty good.
I don't know. I have a wild theory with the AFL that I reckon every year the team that wins the premiership is the team that has the most left footers. Like, you look at the Hawthorn 3-peat.
Yeah, that's true.
How many left footers they had on that team was ridiculous.
It's kind of true. Yeah,
Just
I'll
trying
back
to
that
think
in.
of premiership
That's my
teams from
Yeah.
years gone past.
Who were there? I'm just trying
Geelong
to think of,
last
like,
year.
West Coast in 2018. I can't think of any.
Duggan,
Actually, that's a tough
Barras,
Yeah.
Sheed. I mean,
Yeah,
Sheed.
exactly.
like,
Yeah, okay.
they did
Never
it on
mind
the
that.
left
foot.
Yep. That just helps the point. Only 2 rounds left, I think it is, of the Waffle season. Your Colts teams just sit outside of the top 5 as it stands. Time of recording, just a game behind West Perth. Is the belief still there to push for that month of September?
Yeah, the belief is still there. It's been a bit of a bumpy ride. Like, it's been pretty up and down, especially last week, only going down to Subi, who just knocked off Perth for their first loss of the season by 1 point, and then when Perth was still undefeated, only going down to them by 3. So the belief is still there that we're capable of doing it, and knowing that it could come down to the last round to have a crack at finals. It's been really good, and you know, the team morale has really gone up in the past couple of weeks. It's just been really, really good.
Well, it's like a couple of mini elimination finals potentially. And, well, it's at the time of recording tomorrow, and then potentially in the last round as well.
What will personally happen? Well, what will happen if, I guess, you don't make it? Because I think the reserves are unlikely to make it as well. So would that be season over for you, or would you be a chance to push to break into that strong league side at the moment?
Yeah, that was a goal at the start of the season, to try and crack into the league side. But seeing how they're performing this year, which is absolutely ridiculous, but it's been really good to go up and train with them. So I've been in contact with our talent manager and the league coaches and stuff. So if we don't make finals, I'll most likely just be focusing on the combine, but I'll also go train with seniors until they're knocked out of finals. But hopefully we bring home the flag, so hopefully I'll be with them through September.
And there is some elite talent running around in the league at the moment. Guys like Mitch Croden, Hamish Brayshaw, Angus Schumacher, Nick Robertson, like elite guys. Have you had much dealings with them? And I guess, you know, what have you learned? Or is it kept pretty separate between Colts and league?
No, it's been really good, and it's been a really good opportunity for like all 4 of us state boys who've been asked to go up and train with seniors for the last couple of weeks. But I feel like being suspended, I was able to go in there a bit early and create those connections. So like I've developed a really good connection with some of the boys, like Stan Wright, especially like Kyle Wilcox has been really, really good, and Christian Amajuri, Angus Scott, a couple of those boys have kind of taken me under their wing, and that's been really good to go up with them.
For sure. Judging off your Instagram, you're someone or another someone who seems very much into their golf outside of footy. What are the hobbies or any secret talents outside of footy?
Golf is the main one outside of footy. Not much else goes on. It's either golf or footy at the moment, but golf is. I try to make it just social, but in the back of my mind, I'm too competitive. I'm always trying to win, but it never really comes off too well. But no, it's been really fun playing golf with the boys and just something else to do outside of footy and kind of take our minds off footy.
I know a lot of people love it, but the East Perth boys in particular seem to love it from what I've seen.
Yeah,
probably looking up to Hamish Brayshaw and Hammer Swings.
Yeah, oh yeah, and
big inspiration.
Yeah, you get the Par Powers like Stan Wright, Ethan Regan, and Nick Bonamelli, all those boys.
I all love it.
Love it. Yeah, playing with Jed O'Rourke and Oscar Benger as well. Oscar Benger's elite. I don't know where he's come from with his golfing ability, but it's ridiculous.
Well, talking about Ethan Regan, he has sent in a question for the Q&As, which we're moving on to now. So, of course, thanks to Skimbro and Hat Locker, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Bray and Ethan. You can find us to ask some future questions. But Ethan will be next. WA Footy Prospects kicks us off. Do you have any pre-game routines or superstitions?
Yeah, I feel like the only real big superstition I have is I always like to be the last one out of the change room. So, you know, if someone's hanging around getting strapped or getting a massage, I always just duck off to the toilet until they're finished just to be the last one out.
A bit like Josh Kennedy. He was always like that as well.
Yeah, just love being the last one out of the change room. That's probably my biggest one.
Probably never be a captain then because the captains have to run
the
out.
first one out. Yeah.
Well, Trent Cotchin recently retired, as we know.
Yeah.
He was always first out, high-fiving everyone, so it definitely wouldn't be you.
Next one from Ethan Regan, Fish.Ethan. Favourite park to kick snags at?
Oh, God, that's
not a golf question, which I'm
very surprised about, actually. I'd say Dinella open space. It's a nice, wide open ground. Actually, the wind has a bit too much effect there, so... I'd say either Dinella open space. That was the oval I kind of grew up around and kicked down with fish there a fair bit. But also the ground we train at for East Perth is pretty average, but I kick a fair few goals there. So Altone Park.
Yeah, Altone. Yep. Bailey Harbour. I love my pokey bear full forward.
I love you too, Halves.
Anthony.Belluard, do you miss your time at Trinity College?
Definitely. I feel like it's had more of an impact than I thought it would. Like graduating last year, I feel like I'd still be kind of seeing the boys, you know, a couple of times a week. But, you know, obviously when you're at school, you're seeing them every day. But then graduating and obviously going down their separate paths, you know, most of the boys are in uni now. Some of the boys are focusing on their separate sports. I feel like it's more of a privilege now to see them, but it's really good because when you see them, you still have that connection with them, and it's a really good time.
Is it Tyrese Rioli?
Yeah, Trice.
Trice? Freakiest player you've played with at Trinity?
Trice Rioli would be the one. He's something else. He's got the body of a big key forward, but moves like he's a small forward. He's got that real Rioli trickster about him. He's got that X factor, so he'd definitely be the freakiest Trinity player I've played with.
Living up to the last name. Cal Wally. Rumour has it your brother Axel has you covered. Any truth to that?
Not yet. He may have me covered on some other things. Like he's a bit of a golden child. But he's performing very, very well. Like he's been selected as the only underage in the under-15s footy team. At the start of the year, he went to Brisbane and Melbourne for national athletics. Okay. He's 14. He's already my height, so it's getting on my nerves a bit. But I still got him in a wrestling match. So that's all that I'm concerned about.
Lucas Kemp and Bailey Max 7 have asked the same question. How was the gym session late at night?
Yeah, that was a bit of controversy about that one. It was a good late night arm pump. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll stick with that. Riley_Wheels04 last week's guest predictions for Colts premiers, if not East Perth.
Oh God. Oh, I still have belief in us. I hope we can get there. But right now, playing them last week, I reckon Subi and Claremont would be a very good grand final. I'd say Perth have peaked too early and they're going to drop off.
Like Collingwood potentially.
Yeah, so I'd be going either Claremont or Subi right now.
Who's the best player in the Waffle Colts, do you reckon, at the moment? Like, whether that's, I don't know, Jack Clark medal favourite, because, I don't know, it's very interesting.
Or just most impactful or something.
Yeah, hardest player or best player. You think, like, who's the first player that you think comes to mind?
It is very interesting, especially when you get boys going out for 18s and some boys going up to the league for the season and coming back down. I'd say Willsey would definitely be up there. Jake Cocking's performing really well, so we're playing him tomorrow, but he's averaging, I think, 4.5 goals a game, so I feel like he'd be up there. But there's definitely been a lot of influential players over the course of the season this year, so I'd say there'd be a fair few going for that Jack Clark medal.
Jet O'Rourke.
O'Rourke. Why are you still 17?
It's not my fault, mate. No, I started school in New South Wales, so I started school a year early and then came back over here. So I'm actually supposed to be in Year 12 this year, but fanaticism and graduated last year, so always copped a fair bit for that, being the youngest one at school. But why aren't you 6'5", mate?
You could always just say, I went, I'm too, smart, too much smarter for others.
Exactly.
Do you technically still have a year or two of Colts footy left, with your age?
I'm still eligible for Colts next year. So
year after as well, or would that be an overage year?
It's overage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gee, so that's what I was thinking, because when we were organising this, I was like, I think September, your birthday. So I was like, he's not going to be able to come in during the middle of the day. He's going to be at school. And then I was like, maybe not, because I saw you graduated. I was very confused, but... Yeah.
It's very confusing, but no, I'm glad I've graduated a year early. As much as I miss school at times, I'm very glad I'm gone.
Okay.
Thomas.Cathcart, who's the best roommate you've ever had?
Yeah, I was expecting this one. It's a funny story. So last year, for our last game of 16s, we went over to Adelaide to play Vic Metro. And because we went over with the 18s at the same time, so everyone had to room with someone else, and every single other pair of kids had their own separate beds. But we walked into our room and there was one queen-size bed.
Oh, no.
So we had to, he's the biggest bed hog. It is ridiculous. Like, we had a queen-size bed. He slept on the diagonal and I'm like curled up in the fetal position trying to fall asleep. It's absolutely horrible. But it was a very funny night. We were kind of just watching Harley Reid highlights all night. And then, that was a very fun time, though.
Not too many hours of sleep, I'm assuming.
None at all.
Where are we? Oliver Coates, 1. Set shot routine.
I've always... I feel like I've only really developed a proper set shot routine this year, but I always like to spin the ball through my hands 3 times, take 3 steps forward, and then 3 jogging steps. So I like to keep it nice and short and sharp.
Okay. Nice and simple.
Yeah.
Michael _ I don't know, this was probably the same question maybe referring to earlier, but interesting to see if you have any other comments. Michael _ Gladwell, best late night gym workout.
Late night gym workout always has to be an arm and shoulder workout. Girls get the girls, tries get the guys, do it for everyone. But the late night arm pump, we love it.
What's the latest?
The latest I've ever been is probably around midnight. Nothing much to do. I had to go pick up a couple of mates from the clubs, and they were all at Daisy's, which is just across the road. So I was like, I might as well pop in.
Zachariah Lamotte, I believe. Favourite clothing brand?
Well, that's a tough one.
Some free shout-outs up for grabs here.
Yeah,
tough one considering the shirt you're wearing, just a plain white tee.
Uniqlo, the most underrated clothing brand, I reckon. But I always like... that's actually a tough one. Banana Lagoon, feel free to send me some clothes. But I'd say I'd just stick with the basics like Nike and then also just vintage clothing. Real big on vintage clothing.
Is that the same with your boots as well, Nike? Stick the same?
Yeah, well, those Tampa 9s have been some of the best boots I've ever worn, but then getting those Puma boots a couple of weeks ago, the Future Ultimates, I'd say they're on par with the Tiempo, so I'm struggling now to decide which one to go for.
Split 50-50.
Yeah.
Archie.Blatchley. Who's your favourite in 7A footy?
Archie, you're probably the number one man, mate. But that Trinity team, we have our last game this afternoon actually against Hale, but that team's absolutely ridiculous. Like Nash Styles, keep that name in mind. He'll definitely be on this podcast in a couple of years coming up.
Yeah.
Like Remy Miranda, all those boys are really good to coach, like really good to be around. But yeah, we've kept a tally of the scores every week, and through 12 rounds, we've had a total of 51 points scored against us. So yeah, it's very good. Could just be the coaching, but those boys are very good to coach, very good to be around.
What's the coaching like for year 7 footy? Because, like, I don't know, like, you said remember the name, and we'll stick true to that, but, like, how early is it to be like, oh, yeah, this guy's going to be, like, a prospect at that age?
It is tough. Like, especially when I try and do like
drills and stuff,
and I like put it out at a Colts kind of level, and I forget they're year 7, so I have to bring it back in a bit. But no, it's really good. There's definitely a couple of boys that I reckon if they stick with it, they'll make it very high. Like I'd say Archie Blatchley would be one of them, Nash Styles, and I'd say James Spencer would probably be those top 3 kids that'll come through. Like I look at James Spencer, I just see James Sicily. Like it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. You take that.
Yeah.
Now, this one I've got no idea how to say this. All I know is it's Ethan XNCE. Are you or Jack Turnbull a better diver? Or is it a diver or a driver?
Oh, driver.
Driver?
Nah, Jack Turnbull knows the answer to this. He is the worst driver I've ever been with in my life.
Is this car or golf?
Car, yeah. No, his driving skills are horrible. He hits the curb. Yeah, he drives a Volvo, but so it's a bigger car, but he still drives it like it's a Swift. Like he's hitting curbs. He takes the 10Ks under the speed limit way too seriously, and he's hitting 20Ks under the speed limit. It's
you always get a fine for slow driving.
Oh, it's horrible. If you want to go somewhere, you got to leave at least half an hour earlier so you get there on time. But
yeah. Got to work it out. Oscar Benga, is there someone at East Perth that just really brings the energy and all the good vibes? Might be fishing for a compliment.
I think he is fishing for a bit of a compliment there, but no, Benga definitely gets the team up and about. Like he's very good, cracks a joke and just makes training feel like real easy. And there's also a couple of boys like Will Cass, Sam Graham, Bailey Harbour. They're probably the big ones that kind of make training feel easy and make it quite enjoyable to get through.
And to Ethan, who just sent through that question before, I reckon that's a fine for not spelling driver right, missing the R.
Oh, massive.
I just had a look on the Instagram and it said diver.
People spell the questions wrong or like make mistakes all the time. Like they must be so eager to just send it in. Right?
Yeah. Oscar Benga.
Like we just did
sorry, yeah. Sorry, I was a bit too high up. Matthew Garside. Is Jack Turnbull, again, the worst fortnight and football player you know?
He's definitely the worst he's the worst Fortnite player I've ever met. Absolutely horrible. It's a bit of a joke. He carries me when we play together. But it's actually been really good to see him come back from his knee injury and come back. And this week was actually his first week of full training back. So it's really good to start playing with him again. That's been really good to see him come back through rehab together and develop and come back to training and play together.
All jokes aside, I mean, I feel bad for Jack not being here to like defend himself with some of these accusations and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All good fun, though.
Yeah.
Matthew_Garside again. Were you sad to hear about the tragic passing of Omar, the referee?
Oh, I saw that yesterday. I actually saw that last night. I was actually in shock. I saw that last night. I have no idea. But no, rest in peace, Omar.
Who was Omar?
He was a basketball referee over in America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like an NBA?
No, just like I think it was AAU tournaments and kind of high school games. But no, rest in peace, Omar. He's a great man.
Sam Howie, best moment at TC.
Oh, there's a lot of them. Graduation day was a very, very good day. But I'd feel like it'd have to be that one win against Guildford, like being the only ones game I've ever won. That was a great feeling.
Yeah. What pump out the song?
We did. We actually did it 3 times, which is a bit embarrassing because we didn't have that much success. But no, that was very good.
I'm assuming basketball was your summer sport.
Yeah.
Successful there.
We were all right, pretty up and down. Those year 11s, like some of the kids below us, like Aiden Cunnington and Declan Armour and stuff, they carried us a fair bit. But no, basketball was very fun to play.
Got a couple of wins.
Yeah, we did. Got a lot more wins than footy, which is good. And then, so I only played basketball in year 11 and 12, and then before that I was playing volleyball, but volleyball was very successful, so probably should have stuck with that to see some more success. But
imagine winning a first volleyball.
Yeah.
Go off.
Oh, goes off.
That's one to put on the resume.
Lucky last. Pretty good way to end the Q&As, I reckon. Mary Scroop, why are you so fine?
Ask your mother. I don't know. I thank my parents for that. They gave me some good genetics. So cheers, mum and dad. Appreciate it.
We'll move on to the quiz now. Skinbro leaderboard as it currently stands. Riley Hardman, Luke Kelly up on 12. Dan Curtin.
Hards is a very big brain.
Yep. Dan Curtin 11.5. Zach Mainwaring 11. I saw Zach on the weekend.
Did?
In leaderboard. Funny enough on Saturday night. Clay Hall, he's on 11. Sam Van Rooyen 11. Cohen Sanchez 11. Colton Falstrup, also saw him on Saturday. He's on 10. Zach Langdon, Taj Schofield, Fraser Turner, Oscar Hine-Bass, Colin Livingston, Riley Wheels all on 10, and Toby McQuilkin on 6 down the bottom.
Right.
So that's the
aiming
leaderboard
for
as it
double
stands.
digits.
Yeah.
So it's a par.
It is.
First question, as I almost give away the answers. What is your height and weight on the Waffle website?
On the Waffle website, 195 centimetres and 91 kilos. I believe.
Bang. I don't know if you saw that or not, but it's a 1 from 1.
Number 2, how many Colts goals have you kicked this year?
Oh, God. Do I have a time limit on this question?
No, you don't.
Ideally in a decent time frame.
12, 11?
It's 9.
9. Oh,
9.
That's not too good.
How many of these goals have been against Peel Thunder? So you've kicked 9 in total.
5.
Yeah, bang. Good.
Do
2
that
from
one.
3.
How many times this year have you only had kicks in a game and no handballs personally? Colts, this is.
Colts. Is it 2 games?
Bang.
I think it's 2, yeah.
Yep. Back-to-back games against Southfield and Claremont.
Yeah.
Just chucking on the boot, no handballs.
Kick only.
Yeah.
Kick
Handballs
only.
overrated. Question number 5 as we are
3 from 4.
3 from 4, correct. Question number 5. What's the most amount of marks you've taken in a Colts game?
Is it 5? I think it's 5.
7.
7. Better than I expected.
So 3 from
5.
5. This could be a bit of a harder one. See how well you know the boys, I guess, from last year. Out of the 12 players who went to the National Combine last year, how many were drafted? Out of 12.
12 WA boys.
Out of the 12 WA. 10?
It's 11. Out of the 12. Who?
Oh,
Harry Cole was the one that didn't.
Right.
Didn't Sam Gilby go as well?
He
Yeah,
might
but
have
I
actually.
think he went, but he was injured.
Oh,
This was just taken
yeah.
off the Waffle website, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, Gilbs couldn't do anything apart from like the height and the reach or
high
something.
mate. Yeah.
Probably all he would have been
Yeah,
able to do.
we really wish we could pay a point there because it was a good guess.
Yeah.
But
So what are we? Are we 3 or 4?
three, I think.
3.
Just do 3.
3 from 6. Question number 7. Just a true or false question here. You've received more free kicks than you've given away personally this whole season.
Oh, that's definitely false. I've definitely given away more free kicks.
Given away 7 and you've only received 3.
Yeah, that's probably all those 3 have probably been high tackles as well, which is a bit surprising. But probably give away too many free kicks.
4 from 7.
4 from 7. Number 8. We mentioned East Perth Colts just sit outside the top 5. How many ladder points do you have?
16.
Correct.
Very nice.
That's a little bit surprising. Like you're sitting one game out from the top 5, but you've only got 4 wins.
Yeah, it's a very big
weird.
gap between the top
It's
sides.
weird. Yeah, I was having a look at it before.
You only have to be there, then it's like
Well,
a whole
I'm
new
not-
bowl game.
I'm
Fake
not
it till you
revealing
make it.
anything. I'm not revealing anything, am I? No, I'm not. Like, just having a look at the ladder, like, you got obviously Claremont,
Yeah.
Perth and Subi all up on 48, 44.
Oh god, that is a big gap. Jeez.
East Freo's on 40, then West Perth on 20. So it's 4
That's-
games different. Oh, no, not 4 games. What is it?
5 games.
5 games difference, yeah,
That is a very big
between 4th and 5th. So yeah, it's crazy. A big gap. Next question is question number 9. What did I say we are?
We are 5 from 8.
5 from 8. Question number 9. So this is to equal bottom of the ladder, by the way, if you can get this right. Then you've got a couple more points to potentially get. How many scoring shots, so points and goals together, did WA have before you kicked that goal against the Allies?
Scoring shots in total before the goal.
Yeah.
7.
Bang, it's correct.
Yeah, 1 goal 6.
That's
yeah.
good. Good. 1 goal and 6 points. Bit
Yeah.
of an inaccurate affair.
Very inaccurate.
You would have been pumped when you kicked that goal. I think
I was
celebration.
I feel like that's the one goal I've actually genuinely celebrated and been happy with.
All right. Well, we are
6
from 9, but there is potentially 5 points up here, so you could jump up to 11 if you're smart enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to who am I? So when we do this, it's someone related to where you're from,
Okay.
etc. Basically, we read out the birthday. If you get the birthday, it's 5 points, but we don't read out anymore. You get 3 guesses.
Oh,
If you go past the 3 guesses or you want to move on, we move down
Yeah.
and reveal more, but then 4 points, and then you only get 1 guess from the 4 points, 1 down.
yeah.
So use your 3 guesses wisely, or if you want to move forward, you can, but obviously just think you need that 5 to move up the leaderboard. So I was born on the 24th of July, 1999.
24th of July, 1999. Do I know anyone that's 24? Is it like related to a coach or?
It's not like someone you probably would like know in terms of like have a relationship
Personally,
with.
yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
But somewhere who's, I guess, played somewhere where you have, and they might be in the AFL.
Oh god, this is a hard one. I can't even think of the top of my head anyone.
Any
born in
wild
that year.
guesses? Have 3 if you want.
3 guesses. It's got to be someone who's played at East Perth.
We can reveal if you want to move forward, but again,
I need a clue on that one.
Okay.
I can't go straight.
unfortunately, 5 points won't be coming your way, but we can still get to the 4.
Yeah.
Still get 10.
I last played for East Perth in the Colts in 2017 before being a first-round draft pick.
Is that a premiership year at East Perth for the Colts?
East Freo won that year.
East Freo.
I need to get my footy knowledge up. This is horrible. I can't even go off the top of my head. First round draft pick from 2017. Who went in 2017? Was that the Cam Rainey year or was that the year after?
That was the Cameron year, yeah.
That draft, yeah, 2017 draft.
Oh god, this is horrible. This is embarrassing.
If you want to move forward, we can.
I think we need
You're going to have
move
to go for the
forward.
3 points, though.
I think I'm going for the 3 points.
Okay. I also played for your junior club and went to Trinity.
Oh, Brandon Starcevich.
Bang,
alright,
correct.
yeah, that's all I needed.
Well, that takes us to 9.
Yeah.
It's 3 points. So you're not last. Didn't quite get the double figures, though,
Oh,
unfortunately.
not
You
close
did
enough.
pretty well. I mean, some of the questions were stiff to miss out on. The National Combine one, you know, that was a good guess.
Yeah.
The rest of that, though, I play for neither a WA or Victorian AFL team. I wear the number 37. Brandon Starcevich. Do you reckon you
yeah.
would have got that, like, knowing now, do you reckon you would have got that on the 5 points or 4? Probably not the birthday, but the 4 points maybe?
Thinking back now, I could have gotten that on the 4 points. I was
Yeah.
literally just talking about it with my head of year at school on Wednesday while I was coaching. She was talking about Brandon coming back this weekend and how he went in the first round.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's
Well, you've
embarrassing.
pretty like linked. Obviously, East Perth, Trinity, and the same junior footy club.
Yeah.
You would have heard a lot about him. So
Yeah, nah, very. He's actually been a very good role model to look up to, especially because he comes back to school a fair bit and helps out. But he's been very good to look up to.
I don't reckon a lot of people would even know he's from WA. Like,
I'll
I
be
don't know. I
honest,
thought he was always like
I didn't
Victorian.
know. I didn't know it was from here
Um,
until then.
Any other notable names from like that your junior club? I was trying to see. He was the only one.
Yeah, from Mount Lawley, I can't think of anyone from Mount Lawley.
Probably a lot have played Waffle and stuff. But
Yeah, I feel a fair few have gone up to Waffle, but not to that next step. But
Yep.
Mount Lawley Junior Football Club is a very successful football club at that level. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we'll wrap up the episode, but Bray and Ethan 20 for 20% off at both skinbro.com and hatlocker.com.au, Ethan.
That's correct.
Might have a little something happening in a couple of weeks.
Don't want to
Maybe,
too
maybe,
much.
maybe a big 100 episode special
Maybe.
with some giveaways, maybe.
big surprise.
Big surprise. We're only 8 away now.
We are. It's flying.
Yep. So stay tuned for some, I guess, maybe some news announcements. What could be happening if we do something special, which I hope we do. But if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you can, of course, head over to YouTube and watch. And if you're on YouTube, you can go over and listen on Spotify or Apple, wherever you get your podcasts from. If you need to drive to work or school or whatever.
Yep.
Uni.
Chuck it on in the car.
Exactly. And remember to subscribe, give us a 5-star rating as well, which would be nice.
Yeah.
Looks good. But Zave, can't thank you enough for coming on. We've got some lovely gifts from Skinbro and Hatlocker to give you on your way out. But all the best for the rest of the year, and we'll see you around.
Thank you for the opportunity.